I was having your boy Rico from Street Scores, and it is time to celebrate. It looks like this Washington Commanders sale to Josh Harris from Daniel Snyder is a full go. Nothing left in the way. We just got hit with a big news drop for several things. First of all, Snyder trying to stop everything, trying to get all of his indemnification things going, all of that set up to absolve himself of any legal issues after he sells the team. That's been resolved. The finance committee has officially voted and approved and even recommended that the sale go through, and then so many other things. When time this sale is supposed to go down, technically, well, the vote from the NFL owners, when Daniel Snyder will officially give the team over to Josh Harris. Also, Josh Harris press conference coming soon, and of course we have training camp soon after that. The rookies report the day after that, so I'm really excited, man. It's a lot to celebrate. Not only is football coming back, just in general, that's great in itself. That's very exciting. That's beautiful. But then we also have the fact that we will have a new owner before training camp even starts. But again, I want to always slow people down. It's not like Josh Harris is going to come in here in a new stadium, a new practice facility, and all of these changes will just happen immediately. We can start to work on things like signing Cameron Curl long term and things like that. That could be in the works, but don't expect him to come in here and everything just suddenly be a complete 180 from what we've been dealing. But before we dive into all of that and dive deep into the details of everything that's going on, promise y'all I'm gonna give y'all all of the information that's out there. Before we do, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm that subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that so you get a notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Of course, I'm still working on film sessions for all of the rookies in our past 2023 rookie draft class. Also, I will be, of course, updating y'all on everything that happens every day throughout practices for training camp and things like that. So, man, make sure y'all stay tuned, man. It's a full go. Football's back. Dan Snyder's gone. Let's get it.
You tell your family you can be a commander.
All right, so it was reported the NFL Finance Committee voted unofficially today to recommend the approval of Josh Harris's deal to buy the Commanders, sources say. And the league has reached an agreement with Daniel Snyder to resolve all remaining legal issues. That's huge because we've been hearing for like the past week and a half that we're like this close. We're like 4th and inches away from this team being handed over from Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris. And then suddenly there were reports that maybe Dan Snyder is just going to pull a fast one at the last second and make things complicated because he doesn't want to have to deal with anything legally after this process. Somehow they went ahead and resolved that with him. And so now we're good to go. There's nothing left in the way. The finance committee was in the way at one point. They've officially approved it. They looked through all of the documents. They already like slightly approved it once before, but they were like, nah, y'all need to fix these couple of things though before it's like an official approval. And then now they've officially approved that like we're good to go. Go ahead and sell this team to Josh Harris and all of those other buyers. The reason that this process has been so weird and unpredictable is because there's just never been a situation like this where a professional sports franchise, especially at the very least in the NFL, is being sold over to so many owners. Usually there's like one main owner and like maybe a handful of minority owners, but we're like in the 20s of minority owners and things like that. All of the people that have their hands in the pot with this one. So like the legal language and all of the percentages and having a certain amount of money down, like this liquid that you can access immediately, all of that type of stuff was just really complicated and new. And the NFL even said it themselves like a couple of months ago, like, man, after this we're gonna have like a blueprint for if more situations come up like this, we'll be ready. But right now the Commanders are basically trailblazing this situation because we've never had something like this before. So now after Josh Harris officially buys this team and everything goes smoothly, the process of this happening potentially again will go way smoother. It will go about way quicker. We can expedite it a little bit and be a little bit more organized and upfront and transparent with everything that's going on because we'll have a better idea of what to do. This was new territory for everybody, the Commanders most importantly, but also the NFL themselves have just never had a sales situation like this. So the Commanders are pretty much providing the blueprint for future sales if anybody else wants to go this path. So that just lets you know how complicated this was. And I know a lot of people were doubting whether this will happen or not, and a lot of the holdup was just them trying to figure out, what do we even do? Like, what are we allowed to do? What can we get away with? What is step 1? What is step 3? What is step 8? What is step 12? How do we get this many people involved? Like, there are just so many new things involved with this whole process that even the NFL was like, man, we kind of just making it up as we go along. So again, from now on, because the Commanders went through this, any other team that wants to do something similar with having a whole bunch of owners splitting up the pie in so many small pieces, that the NFL will be more ready and this should go by way quicker for other teams. But again, my main point is a lot of people thought that this may not happen because they were being so secretive and quiet about stuff, and then they were being ambiguous, like, are we doing this or are we not? At one moment we are doing something, the next moment they take it back, and it just looked like everybody was confused. And I feel like a lot of people thought that the NFL was just trolling and Dan Snyder was trolling, but really this was just a weird situation of everybody. I'm just happy that it's done though. Well, also John Comm on his latest pod that came out, I believe yesterday, a couple of days ago, he said that the owners meeting to vote for Josh Harris is scheduled for 2 p.m. on Thursday. We already knew that this was going down on Thursday, but now we have an official time, 2 p.m. And I don't know how long it takes for owners to vote. I feel like they should already just walk in and immediately have their names on papers, yes or no or whatever, however they do it. Or if they just like a raise your hand if you're in favor of thing. This should go by quickly. This should take like 5 minutes ideally. But you know, when it comes to legal stuff and business stuff, for some reason, things just take way longer than that. But I'm hoping by like say 3 p.m., the Commanders are officially handed over from Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris. And John Comm brought up a great point in this podcast. Like, you can tell this is definitely happening because they wouldn't make all of these owners fly from everywhere around the world. I think Dan Snyder has been in like Europe and things like that. They wouldn't have everybody coming in for something if they thought maybe somehow, probably, quite likely, but not sure something will happen. No, this is definitively going to happen. So it's shown by the fact that all of the owners are definitely meeting up in person to do it. The finance committee did it virtually, but the NFL owners are meeting in person to just go ahead and get this over with. Also, John Comm said that he expects Harris to conduct a press conference at FedEx Field this Friday. Yes, sir. Let's get it. So the team is sold Thursday, July 20th. Then he holds a press conference on Friday, July 21st at FedEx Field. And in the same day, the rookies are reporting the training camp. The veterans don't report till July 25th, but still, rookies are reporting the training camp, and Josh Harris will more than likely hold his first owner of the Washington Commanders press conference on Friday as well. And at FedEx Field, to add to it, I don't know if they're gonna have a situation where you can buy tickets and go or something like that, because that would be amazing. But either way, I'm just really happy to see Josh Harris speak on everything, because we haven't really heard, I don't even know what his voice really sounds like, so that's gonna be really interesting in itself. But just to dive into more details, the NFL Finance Committee met remotely Monday and unofficially approved Josh Harris's $6.05 billion deal to purchase the Washington Commanders from Daniel Snyder. Two people familiar with the deliberations said. Attorneys for the NFL and Snyder also have reached an agreement resolving the legal issues that threaten to complicate the closing of the deal, those people said. That clears the way for the NFL team owners to vote to ratify the sale during their meeting scheduled for Thursday in Minneapolis. Again, I've already explained this in another video, but they're meeting in Minneapolis because that's kind of like a good midway point from everybody. The guys that are in California, the owners on the West Coast, the owners on the East Coast, the owners in the South, that's kind of like a little middle for everybody to meet at. Now, Dan Snyder coming from somewhere in Europe, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if that's exactly confirmed, but I heard that he did move out there, but maybe he's been in America recently. He doesn't have to travel literally from Europe just for this vote situation. But either way, everybody's meeting in Minneapolis because they felt like that was a good neutral ground where everybody doesn't have to fly across the entire country to meet. So that's really interesting in itself, the fact that they even thought about that. Now, going back to the article, because not all 8 members participated in Monday's meeting, the Finance Committee did not take an official vote to recommend approval approval of the sale to the other owners, according to one person familiar with the deliberations. But the owners who participated took what that person described as a straw poll in which they unanimously supported the deal. So it's not like official, they say, because everybody has to meet in person for it to be like official and signed off and everything like that. But the unofficial one, where everybody participated, it was just the fact that 8 people weren't there in person. Some people were there virtually, but either way, everybody unanimously voted, let's go ahead and go through with this as far as the finance committee goes. So we can pretty much expect that once they finally have everybody in one spot to officially do a vote, it will go through, nothing to worry about. Let's go. The Finance Committee's official vote to recommend approval is expected to come during a meeting early Thursday. Again, it's been reported 2 p.m., just ahead of the full owners meeting. The owners generally follow the recommendation of the committee. The sale must be approved by at least 24 of the 32 NFL owners. And again, don't worry about it being an unofficial ruling by the Finance Committee, because they wouldn't ask the NFL owners to go ahead and vote on it if that unofficial ruling had no weight to it. So we're going to get like the official one after the owners vote, which will, hopefully that will happen soon afterwards. We'll see. And I'm just really excited, man. I'm just so ready to celebrate. I'm in Atlanta. I'm ready to run outside and run in circles with my arms in the L, just screaming. The sale is expected to close officially as soon as Friday. According to one of the people with knowledge of the deliberations, the findings of the NFL's investigation into Snyder and the Commanders being conducted by attorney Mary Jo White could be released soon thereafter. So that's another really interesting piece of news right there. The Mary Jo White investigation may finally come out after all of this, but Dan Snyder's like, well, go ahead, let it go. I'm already indemnified. Y'all can't get me for anything legal after this. I made sure that was handled before I sold the team over to Josh Harris. And I mean, he's crummy for that, but hey, the NFL just wants to see this done. And they're like, hey man, whatever, Dan Snyder, if you just, as long as you sell the team, man, we'll just leave you alone. These Mary Jo White findings are going to come out and we won't be able to do anything legally to you, but at least maybe your name will be tarnished or something like that. But I'm not sure exactly how much more it could be tarnished than it already is. So he probably doesn't even care. He's moving, like I said, to Europe. He has nothing to deal with this. He doesn't even care about America anymore, let alone the Redskins, Washington football team, or the Commanders. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, man, I'm super excited. I definitely want y'all to get in the comment section and let me know how you plan on celebrating. I mean, even just the DMV as a whole. Are y'all gonna hold like a parade? Are y'all gonna have a big tailgate out of FedEx Field with no game going on? Are y'all gonna have go-go bands everywhere? I'm expecting mumbo sauce to be everywhere. I'm just expecting a big DMV event, man. And if I could fly out there to take part in it, I would, man. So just let me know how y'all are doing it. But even just individually, how do y'all plan on celebrating? Are y'all gonna go back and watch the Redskins Super Bowls to relive the glory days and hope that we can repeat that in the near future with Eric Bieniemy and all of these guys, Sam Howell at quarterback, all of that type of stuff? Are you gonna throw a party that your family and friends can come to? Are y'all gonna have cookouts? Let me know, man. I'm just really curious to see how everybody's gonna celebrate. Again, I'm in Atlanta, but I even might just walk outside my house running in circles, everybody looking at me crazy. They don't need to understand. Just know I'm extremely happy. But also, before we get up out of here, it's reported that former Commanders ticket and sales executive Jason Friedman has filed a defamation lawsuit in Loudoun County Circuit Court against the team and one of its attorneys. So something just completely random, something completely separate, and will not get in the way of this team being sold at all. It won't affect Josh Harris. It won't even necessarily affect the Commanders at all. But I just wanted to let y'all know that is some information out there. So if you end up seeing that somewhere, just know that I already gave you the heads up. If you want to read deeper into that, you can. It's on the WashingtonPost.com, but it's such a minute detail that doesn't really matter. But again, Rico at Street Scores is always trying to update y'all on any little piece of information I can update y'all on. So there y'all go for that. So the Finance Committee voted today and approved unofficially, but officially enough for the owners to go ahead and go through with their vote on Thursday, because there was another set date, I believe it's like 2 weeks from now or a month from now, where the NFL owners are going to meet again, and they could have just voted then. So the fact that they're going through with the earliest possible vote lets you know that, again, that unofficial vote does actually matter and hold some weight. So unofficial vote from Finance Committee Monday, official vote from owners Thursday. We'll see when we get the final official vote from the Finance Committee. Josh Harris press conference on Friday, rookies report Friday, July 21st, and then also veterans report for training camp July 25th. And then it's Josh Harris owning the Commanders, and pure football is back. Again, I love the fact that Daniel Snyder's selling the team to Josh Harris, but on top of all of that, I'm just happy to have football back, man. I'm so excited to cover everything going on in the Commanders training camp every day. I can't wait for the joint practices against the Ravens. I can't wait for preseason. And of course, I can't wait for this regular season to start week 1 against the Cardinals. As you can see in all of my thumbnails, I have a countdown to that week 1 game against the Cardinals. So make sure you pay attention to that, to all of my thumbnails that I've been coming out with for the past couple of months and continuing to come out with until we get to 0 when we're playing the Cardinals on that day. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please stiff arm that like button, stiff arm that subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to it so you get a notification each and every time I release all of my videos. Again, I'm working on film sessions for our entire rookie class. Ricky Stromberg is up next once I get the time. So stay tuned for all of that. All of the information concerning the Commanders, any news updates. I'm working on a Rico report right now that I'm probably going to come out with tomorrow with a lot of random stuff like the Madden ratings, all of that type of stuff. We're going to have fun with that video. It's a lot of hate and it's a lot of love, so we got to talk about all of it. Also, Chase Young working out with OBJ, a whole bunch of random stuff. So stay tuned for that Rico report tomorrow. And then, of course, again, like I said, everything happening in training camp, I'm updating y'all daily on anything that happens. Of course, y'all know Rico of Street Scores. I'm coming with video clips of the practices that we get our hands on that I'm gonna show y'all as well. I'm gonna put that, upload that, so for y'all to see and be the judge. And then, of course, I'm gonna break down every day of practice as well on top of that. So man, make sure you stay tuned for all of the crazy content. Catch y'all later. Oh, shouts out to all of my sponsors too, man. Big support. Big shouts out to all of my support, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors. Name you see scrolling the screen right now. Catch y'all later. I'm out.